the agenda, that's what I wanna know.
You call them and tell them you want to put it on the agenda.
Yep, we're good.
Good evening, everyone. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. It is currently 6 p.m. I'm going to call the regular village board meeting to order. We'll have roll call. Trustee Dubek.
Here.
Trustee Garn.
Here.
Trustee Crone.
Here.
Trustee Plurd.
Here.
Trustee Stewart.
Here.
Trustee Wallner.
Here.
Trustee Kern, also present. Now we'll have the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item up on the agenda is approval of the agenda. What's the pleasure of this body?
Make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item up is public comment. Anybody wishing to give comment on agenda items? You have 2 minutes per person, 14 minutes per topic. Please stand to the podium and address us with your name and address, please.
Hi, my name is Robert Treloff, and this is from last meeting. I have a statement and a question. The corner street down there of Spring Street and Sunrise Drive, last week, and I had me out in the yard for 2 hours, and in that 2 hours, at least 3 cars are going 35, 40 miles an hour through there. And my question is, how soon will those signs go up that say, you know, I'm gonna be heavily ticketed and stuff like that? And as you go out of town, not even a half block, there's a 25-mile-an-hour speed sign, but coming into town where they're speeding coming into town, not going out of town. There isn't a 25 sign until way back. So I think the 25 one should be moved up and they put this other sign up too. There's a little kids across the street on that corner, and one of those kids can get hit one of these days.
Thank you, Bob. Anyone else wishing to give public comment? Hearing none, we'll close public comment. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. What's the pleasure? We have 204,612 in village bills, 45,309.05 in Motorola radios for the department. We also have a pay app for a multi-use jail. I don't have the quite number on that one. I think it's 46,537 on this pay app for the trail system.
Caleb Garn, make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, nay. That motion is carried. Under new business. In your packet, you'll see a revised ETZ application, final plat from Riverdale Properties LLC, Four Seasons Land Survey in Town of Star Prairie. This has been reviewed by Public Works Director, by Village Engineer. There's a submittal notice on here from August 13th by Jessica for your review, showing that it is, there's no objections.
I'll make a motion to approve the revised DTZ application final plat from Riverdale Properties LLC, Four Seasons Land Surveying.
Motion made and seconded to approve what he said. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is the financial management plan. Also in your packet, you'll see that there was a financial management plan. This was brought in from and started to look at from Finance Committee. If you'll notice there is a lot of things that need to be updated. This is from 2000 and I believe it was 15.
So is the idea to just review this and have some, give input for updates for Ellers?
Yes, sir. And that's, if you can forward those kind of, suggestions over. A lot of things have changed since 2015, obviously. It's 9 years old and, we're looking for, like, one of the things suggested, that is, right now, currently, it says that we should maintain about 25% in savings. My suggestion is, to look at, if we need to be at 25%, if it should be written at 25%, or if it should be written at, a certain amount of, months of reserves. The reason being is that, a percentage of savings being what our reserves, we gotta be able to pay, those bills from savings if we need to, so. A lot of places carry those as months reserve. If our bills go up, we have to increase our savings to cover that.
Do you want to talk about how much it's gonna cost to update this plan?
So is that 80,
It was,
Adrian?
mine was 18.
Yeah.
16 to 18.
Yeah, that's what they said about
16 to 18,000.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there,
100.
not in 100, not in 16 to 18 dollars either.
Could have went there.
I mean, I personally think that we should save some money and do it next year, get this updated.
What is our obligation for this? Like, what, are we required to do this by the state? It's just this.
It's more of a. My understanding is it's more of a reliance to the taxpayers, is that we're doing this financial management plan to maintain.
Our fiduciary responsibility.
To the taxpayers, yes, and we maintain, and we outline all of our different TIDs, how they're operating. Some TIDs have, I think one TID is on here that closed, right? So, it's kind of updating that, just like we did with our user fees and everything on an annual, or, on a periodic basis, so.
So it's basically taking all of the information we already have and regurgitating it, or we have to actually do some type of plan? Is there actually?
It's up for debate on what the next. What do you want the village to look at, because this is severely outdated.
And this is a recommendation from Ellers. And it's a service above and beyond what we normally pay them to do.
And it's $18,000, 16 to 18,000.
Somewhere in there. I don't know the exact price off the top of my head.
But, yeah. Then
I think,
I consider us to be at risk by not doing it.
I agree.
well, I think that's the other thing too, is auditing aspects from a fiduciary standpoint. We need to look at it as, okay, you're maintaining, 9-year-old, outdated, details of your assets and everything when they're not even, current. So I think, it makes sense for us every once in a while, no different than doing a, look at our tax base and what our costs are to update this financial management plan. I'd say at minimum, at least every 5 to 10 years. But I mean, we're at a 10-year mark right now, and I think that's acceptable, so.
And on top of that, we have exceptional changes in the community.
Correct.
In terms of growth rate.
So
Oh,
do you want
stuff.
suggestions to submit it to them, or do you want suggestions here in the meeting, or?
I think suggestions to them. And they can take them and put them back to us in the form of our in the form of finance.
Bob, how often have you referred to this plan in your daily life?
And not very often, just because a lot of the information comes from me into this, you can see the projects that come in there, so not a lot, but.
Jessica, how many times have you been asked by someone for this information in your time here?
Once.
Once.
We should ask Andrea how many times she's been this far.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's the
I bet
question.
she would have a different answer, and I bet Andrea would, also fall in line with what this is a value add. So,
I don't wanna speak for her.
I don't
but
either, but-
I believe this is coming with recommendation from her.
yes.
Is it possible these could be completed by budget time?
We're coming into budget season, I think.
I think it's for next year.
Well, I would hope that they would have it done by budget season, but we can definitely, put that on and slate to ask that. Isn't Ellers supposed to be on tonight?
They are not on. I don't think they were planning to join.
No?
And then you would like this redone every 5 years, that are, so a
No,
recurring cost?
I'd say, I suggested that.
Maybe 10. But
If we're ever changing, it's no different than with our, our impact fees. Our impact fees were never looked at for how many years, and they were so far out of whack that it was a hell of a hit on the new people coming into town. So for this one, if you look, if the cost is going to be continuing to be that expensive, yeah, I'd say prolong it as long as you can. But if it isn't, then I think we need to look at it at that time. I'd say at least review it after 5 years and determine whether or not we need to amend it, update it, or leave it as is.
I'll move the table for allowing other members to get more information.
I'd like to hear an actual quote, price quote.
We don't need no action on this tonight, do we?
Not at
no,
all. It would prolong us going into budget, but that's fine.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion tabled. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item up is amendment ordinance 10-1-28 subsection B subsection 11. This was I believe a product coming out of Public Works.
Yeah, this was actually came out of Public Works and Public Safety. We worked together on this one. So there is a situation in the bulb, I'll call it, the bulb. You're very aware of the bulb up by you, Jessica. And we had some input from neighbors on how to change this, the ordinance slightly to allow for the folks that live there to be able to use the parking.
What's the pleasure of this body then?
I'll make a motion to approve the amended ordinance 10-1-28B 11.
Second,
Just clarify for the people.
1 second. Motion made, seconded to approve the ordinance 10-1-28B of subsection 11. Now,
So clarify what it's gonna change in the ball. In that cul-de-sac turnaround area.
So basically, you're not going to be able to park in there anymore. You want to have overnight parking
In the street at all, period.
at a certain distance that is now set. Because before the complaint came up from a resident who basically would have been ticketed for forever and never be able to park his car there. So we added basically an exemption for that resident, and then we aligned it with our ordinances.
Okay. Excellent.
any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to approve the ordinance signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed, nay.
nah,
Motion carried. Next item up for agenda is quote from MSA to design water booster station. In your packet, you'll see that there's a professional service agreement. Or, well, Chuck, you wanna?
Yeah, so for the, we've identified a site, a preferred site now, and we're seeking your authorization to get going with the design. It's a fairly lengthy process from start to finish. Assuming we proceed now, what we'd really be looking at is bidding it out, putting it out on the streets for bids, first part of next year in January. And then it would be constructed over the course of 2027 and then into much of 2028. And, you know, we've been in communication with various developers and things like that, because there's some information we need from them back and forth. You know, we don't technically need the booster station to provide potable water to them, but at least initially, you know, they will need that booster station to fight fires and this, that, and the other. It's quite the lead time on equipment, and equipment is quite expensive. But, you know, once it is bid and awarded, it's like the suppliers are telling us it's a 45 week lead time on equipment for a lot of the SCADA equipment. It'd be a custom masonry building, you know, so you'd have input on, you know, the look of it and some of those items. It'd be very similar, I'm assuming, to what you have at well 5 there on Churchill. You know, so it's a building that's gonna be around for, you know, a century or two. Obviously, equipment wears out after 15, 20 years, but that's the intent, is to put together an attractive and, you know, long-term type of facility. In addition to this design fee, there will be construction observation needs once the thing is put out for bids. You know, and we were suggesting to Public Works that you budget about $200,000. Fortunately, there will be other projects going on concurrently with this improvement. Mainly Pinevale North, and also, you know, to build a road and utilities for the industrial improvements that are anticipated. You know, so there should be some economies of scales there, because, you know, 3 separate projects being built in the same time frame, relatively at the same location. Less structure activation, but some of that is dependent on who, you know, who's ultimately awarded the you know.
And then to be
the
clear,
contract.
this will be paid, did we figure out paying this out of both TIDs?
Yeah, thank you. With the location, both TID 6, which is Pinevale, for those that don't know, and then the new TID 7, which is north of Pinevale. Both of those TIDs will be able to contribute to this. And I know Bob's been in communication with Ellers and that end of it, because it's latest estimates are 2.8 million total project. With me this evening, there is Brad Stuchinski. He's a potable water engineer that he actually, there he is. He actually was involved and was the lead. He was the project manager on the Well 5 project. So he's familiar with your staff. He's familiar with Somerset's. You know, he's helped out off and on over the years. He did that when we were updating the what do you call it? The impact fee needs assessment stuff. You know, he got involved in the water portion of it as well. So he's very familiar with your water system. Did I miss anything, Brad?
Did a good job, Chuck. Yeah, I think the driver of the need is the fire flow and improving the fire flow and the pressure in the high pressure, or in the Newman Farms, and even Pinevale will benefit from the additional pressure and fire flows that the booster station would provide. So any questions from the board?
I have one.
Yep.
Didn't we have an issue with pressure on the other side of town too?
Yep.
And wasn't that something that we had already kind of factored in to put a pressure station like this in that area too? And is that gonna cost 2.8 million?
We discussed that, but it probably won't cost quite as much as a result of, this also has the station that we decided to spruce up a little bit. So as opposed to having an ugly outbuilding or something like that, this is a concrete building that'll stand the test of time. So that is a little bit more than probably would be budgeted for the one over there, but also this is paid for through the TID. I'm not sure on I think we would have gotten the 5-year plan to get a booster station out there, maybe. I can't
Well,
remember.
it kind of depends how that land develops or how much of it comes in
Out there.
out there by, you know, the school, right? Just roughly, for people that, you know, kind of east or west of the school campus there. Yeah, and you know, that may want to be a tower as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a booster station.
But we originally talked about it being a booster station. And
Yeah,
that's-
you would need a
that's-
booster station to increase the pressure there.
That was a fire issue too, because there was something about some mains, if I remember right.
We're just running low on pressure.
Yeah.
And at, you know, this TID 7 as well as, down there, because, you know, even at that Pineville, the north end of Pineville is kind of the high point there. And some of those homes are, you know, kind of at that 40 PSI, which is getting down there, you know. Pretty modest pressures there. So
Well, we want a water tower up in TID 7. Also,
you won't.
No.
run-
we do not want another water tower.
Our storage capacity is good.
Okay.
It's more of a pressure situation, so we still have 400,000 gallons of water, but
Okay,
that's why there might be an opportunity for an additional water tower. Just depending on which way development grows,
okay.
so, but, yeah, this one's solely pressure. And, you know, that's something that we did identify when we were going through that.
Is well five's gonna be supplying all the water up there that's gonna be boosted then, or?
Well, I will go to 5, we'll go to that booster station, and the booster station will advance that pressure to more acceptable levels.
Okay,
All your system is, you have one, you know, basically water system, so even your well at. I mean, well 3, right? Is that
3,
Yeah.
Yeah,
3 and 5 are on.
so they're both contributing.
So I have another question. In here it says, that design and permitting phase is provided for design, including mechanical, hydraulic analysis pumps, yard piping and appurtenant items. Prepare existing site map, including location of the existing utilities, property lines and easements. And a topographical survey, but in the next one, it says that the sewer and water maps updates are not included in this scope. Why would they not be included in this scope if you're drafting them up as we go?
That can,
We can.
I guess,
we can
to me,
revise
yeah, Chuck, you can handle that.
No, we can revise that, clarify that language.
Cause I was just like, okay, I'm looking at this going, why are we not, if we're updating it, why are we excluding it?
Well, I think that comes on the second, I don't think, it will come on the second observation part of that, because when they extend the main, they're gonna want to do the as-bills. When the as-bills are done, it goes into our GIS and our mapping system, so that'll be another effort.
Yeah.
It's just solely on design, so until those mains are put in and construction, they won't update the maps.
Yeah, thank you for that clarification, Bob. Yeah, you're right, because what happens, you know, we design it one way and then it gets built, maybe, you know. Slightly different, and so that's all.
But is that gonna be additional cost, I guess is my question. I mean, if you're tweaking something like that, cause you got a $5,000 geological bid on the back end of this thing, an additional $5,000 for geotechnical cost, is that part of the 311 or is that?
We can make it, it's such a minor amount of money to, all the CAD drawings will be there, and that's just to import it into that map, it's not. It's not, you know, where the problem lies, Donnie, is if you don't exclude it from this design effort. And you design it and then you shelf it for 10 years. You know, and then, you know, it's just kind of acknowledging that it comes later.
Right, but we're building, and, you know, as soon as we, I mean, the
Well,
plan
I would
is,
hope,
the
but if
plan
it
is
comes in
we're-
at $20 million, maybe, you know,
oh yeah,
that would be the, you know, but
that's.
I get your
you're gonna
point.
be
I get your
in deep, stuff with $311,000 worth of paper on the shelf, you know?
true.
And those pipes better be where they say they are.
Well, sometimes when you open up the ground and you think, oh, that pipe was supposed to be there, but it's not.
Yeah, I've been on a couple of wild use cases. I've been on the board for those. Remember?
That's the value of good as-built, right?
Who's pulling the permits then? Would that be the contractor then, when it's let?
No, The permits through DNR would be by MSA on behalf of the village. There would be a building permit when it gets to the time of construction, and that would be pulled by the contractor.
But the DSP, okay, well. The DNR permit is excluded from this bid.
Well, the
So is
DNR stormwater is excluded because we don't anticipate it's needed. But you still have to apply to DNR for the drinking water side. It's a facility, it's a water system facility, so that needs a permit from DNR. But stormwater and construction doesn't need a permit from DNR. Two different departments within DNR, because it's under an acre of disturbance. So we still need the permit through DNR public drinking water.
So one of them you said you'd need to get.
Yeah,
right?
and that's included in the scope.
I'm sorry, but I'm not seeing that.
It's on page 9, third bullet point down, prepare and submit plan specifications, DNR forms to the drinking water department.
All right, my apologies, I didn't look that far up, all right.
And then the next one is a significant permitting effort. It's through this will require public construction authorization through the Public Service Commission. That's different than a water rate increase, but it is any type of facility of this size would need construction authorization through PSC. So in that is a pretty extensive permitting process that involves an environmental review, needs justification, and just a detailed estimate the project. So that's also included in this scope. So that should take care of all the permits that are required.
Okay, so those meetings you would not be in attendance for, or you would be in attendance for the environmental meetings for review, like you were just stating?
We would prepare all the materials submitted
Okay,
and respond to their questions.
pardon?
We'd respond to their questions if that's what you're.
It just said it wasn't included in the scope of attending additional meetings and site visits.
If that was just meant to say that we defined the meetings up above. And so if there were additional meetings beyond what was listed, those would be what we're saying is additional. But I mean, there are quite a few meetings that are involved in the design process to keep the village informed and to make it a collaborative design process where we're getting feedback. We're taking, checking in with the village at the 30% design, 60% design, 90% design, giving you a chance to look over the progress of the building, making sure we have adequate input and concurrence before we march along and do something that isn't in agreement with the village.
We know how this is gonna be spread out amongst the two TIDs?
50-50. No.
That's actually an Eller's calculation they'll provide.
So, this was discussed at length at Public Works and they did recommend approval.
So at Public Works, how did you guys split it up? 50-50 or something with recommendations of Ellers?
No, we didn't, I guess I was just referring to the.
Okay.
The proposal in front of you, not Ellers, that's just, they'll look at it, it depends on how fast things get built out, or, they'll create a plan. per se. And as new people come on board and express interest, and.
Sure, well, I understand that, but part of the thing we talked about in finance was that we were kind of directing and asked to make sure the committees direct any kind of expenditures in there and to understand where these things are coming from and where they're to go to. And it would be nice to at least be able to know when we're approving $300,000, what, if is it gonna come out of an enterprise fund? Is it gonna come out of?
It's gonna come on TIDs.
Out of the is there any coming out of the enterprise fund? Any water and sewer?
I can't see it.
Yeah.
Because of the glare off the card up there, but So the
It's
utility.
not this.
Pickup,
I'll put a hat on
Neither one in there, but, yeah, so that's ultimately the water utility does pay some. We do collect that through our impact fees and pay for a portion of that. So, and then the revenues generated from the utility are also responsible here. But whatever benefits the TID is also an eligible expense, otherwise the TID wouldn't be there without, you know, water pressure that meets the state recommendations or requirements.
So when we say it's gonna come out of the TID, you want what percentages or what's the,
Well, if it's all coming out of TID. You're mixing between two TIDs right now.
Yep.
You're saying it's coming out of 6, coming out of 7, it's coming out of you in enterprise funds.
Yep.
Is what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah, there's more than one payer for that.
Right.
Right.
And so I think it makes sense for us to, as you know, as a board to, I'm okay with what's in front of us. I'm just saying is that. Our due diligence should be at least, okay, this is how much is gonna come out of 6, this is how much.
that's what I'm asking, what I'm trying to understand what your expectation is, so that next time this happens, you know, we can meet your expectations for finance.
Technically, that's outside of the scope of the agenda item right now.
Correct.
It's approving the quote. And where it's coming from.
Yeah, are you talking about just the quote cost, or are you talking about the whole project?
No, I'm talking the quote cost,
Okay.
311,000 that we're looking at and how it's gonna divide up into what areas.
Got it.
That's what I said, I'm not arguing the quote, I had questions about it, they got answered.
Now we need to figure out how we're paying for it. Is
Yeah.
it a third from each budget?
Yeah.
A third from TID 5 or TID
Well,
7?
yeah, but it might be heavily related to 6 over 7. And, you know, right now, I'm trying to figure that all out in my mind.
I guess I'd speculate that's a Andrea question and then she would consult with Ellers, right?
Well, Ellers does have the information, we just don't have the full details.
I'm sorry,
Ellers does have the information on the infrastructure, we don't have that back from them quite yet. So,
And we are trying to move quicker on this one than we usually do as a result of the lead time of the materials, and want to make sure that we're set up in that TID. But moving forward, when we bring, so like for this quote, you wanna know the 311, how that's split up, or at least that we asked the question, because we did ask the question of how this is gonna be paid for.
yeah, coming out of TIDS is, you know, that's what. It's kind of a little, it'd be different, it was like, yep, it's all out of 6, you know, or, you know, some of it's gonna be enterprise and 6. But now 6, 7 and enterprise.
We could use both TIDs.
Yeah, well, I totally get it, I am too. So I'm okay to approve the quote as presented, subject to paying amounts referred to finance for final recommendation.
So move.
That's my
You
motion.
made a motion, alright, second.
The motion made and seconded to approve the approval of 311,000 for the work on the booster station. Quote for design with the amounts to be referred, payable amounts referred to of the 311 referred to finance for recommendation. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed nay. Next item up is water and sewer lateral upgrades for Main Street properties.
Yeah, this came through Public Works. We thought it would be a good idea. Based on the fact that we're going to be doing the construction on Main Street
There's no information.
while that construction's being done on Main Street. We wanted to take the chance to replace those pipes leading into the houses that were torn down. There's a myriad of different pipe sizes, so. Instead of having to tear it back up when we do build something there, we figured we would do it now while we have the chance.
For a mill and overlay.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
I think it ended up being, I think we said not to exceed 25K was the number we set out, hoping it would be around 20. Did you get it?
I did not get a number, so.
Is this something that could potentially impact our mill and overlay into next spring?
Well, the mill and overlay is occurring in spring and I just don't want somebody digging the street back up because they're gonna need
Well, the mill and overlay I thought was in October,
September.
or, I'm sorry, September, so it's this fall. My question is if we are not able to get a contractor in time for that mill and overlay, are we going to defer the mill and overlay to spring? And, or does it need to get done this fall?
They have it on their schedule to occur mid-September as we're next one, so.
So the mill and overlay happening. Neither we,
What if we can't get a contractor by then?
We'll get a contract.
We do this in-house?
So is there engineering on it or anything? No.
We do it in-house, we do work in-house.
No,
Dug in.
no.
Yeah.
We don't have to even do it.
Will we need those 3 same pipes?
To answer your question, there's 4 1-inch copper lines going through there. And then like the Peterson building required fire suppression, which most of the buildings are gonna require the fire suppression. So what I would propose is, the village could take this on, we could charge that back to the developer to say, hey, look, we did this, we wanna recover our money because we got the lot, we didn't ask you to do it. And we recover it that way as a concession.
Really, the issue is, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
From the developer that we don't have yet?
Correct, whatever that would be, yeah.
Correct.
So then really, we're just seeing if we can get the work done before the mill and overlay,
Yes.
so we're not ripping it up again.
And we had a contractor that owns a contracting company that does a lot of work for the village. Pass away, so that's. And then our other one, so I'm trying to avoid a big mobilization, so our local contractors, one just flat out told me no. I don't have time to do that, and I wouldn't take it if I could do it in October, so that's really what I'm trying to get, so. And, if it needs to wait and we push the mill and overlay, our quantities are gonna go up, so that is gonna get more expensive.
Yeah. Is that, so you're thinking of replacing all those with like a single 2-inch?
We gotta go higher than that.
Six inch.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it was $46,000 to upgrade the utilities for Lowell Peterson, which had the water main on the opposite side of the street, so it was a total cut. The water main's the closest, and that's the most expensive part of it. And then we also did that new parking area for sportsmen's or the public parking. And then this case, we will not have a road patch. We will just allow Monarch to come through when they do the mill and overlay and take care of that.
and correct me if I'm wrong, we did discuss that, that's in the blighted TID still, was that, were we eligible to move some funds around for that, or we had enough in water?
We have enough of water.
Okay. So I was trying to move some money around because it's a blighted TID.
Yeah, mine's a tree.
But being blighted to its fund balances.
That means it's,
I was gonna take it from somewhere else though. That
so
wasn't,
you're looking for 25 grand,
Okay.
and that's gonna come
Permission
out,
to do
that's gonna
this,
come
right?
out, that's gonna come out of the utilities. Move to approve, up to 25 grand to change the water, sewer laterals, upgrades for Main Street properties prior to the mill and overlay of Main Street.
Second.
Motion made, seconded to approve 25,000 on the water and sewer lateral upgrades for Main Street prior to the mill and overlay. Any discussion?
we're hoping it will come under that.
That part of that motion also is that it comes out of the water utility. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carried. Next item up is consideration to designate October 13th as Samuel H. Harriman Day, the founder of Somerset. That would be the day that Samuel H. Harriman turns 200 years old. It's his birthday. I was asked by a resident, he is the founder of Somerset. I think it would be good for us to do something on that line, so I put it on the agenda for this body's consideration. If this board wishes to do something on it, takes a motion to do business.
Caleb Grant, make a motion to adopt October 13th as Samuel Harriman Day in the village of Somerset.
Are we doing 2026 or every year?
Every year.
Okay,
Second.
motion made and seconded to adopt October 13th as Samuel H. Harriman Day. Any further discussion?
What will we, how will we memorialize this? Are we putting on our website? Are we gonna do a sign somewhere? Are we gonna do a parade? I mean, what's the idea other than,
I know that this year there's a plan for several of the local civic organizations to put some sort of celebration together. I don't know what it looks like yet.
I think it's a first start in something that could grow, is what I think it is, and I think it's good that us as a village at least memorialize the fact of our founders, our founding father, for this great.
and you're not being asked for funding or consideration,
Right.
all that's very premature.
Yeah,
Yep.
all we're doing is
Just a
Blessing the day.
proclamation of the day.
So it can go on our calendar, and that's, at this point, that would be all we would do is just put it on, as a holiday on our calendar.
Well, I mean,
Not a
but-
holiday, but as a recognition date on our calendar.
Well, you need a Sam Harriman hat. Trademark.
subject to Brandon. Provide that.
And beard.
Yeah. Any further discussion on the matter? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed nay. That motion is carried. Next item up on the agenda is structure fire ordinances. In your packet, you got some information.
I don't see it in my packet. Did everyone get it?
It was,
It was sent in a separate.
Separate one?
yeah, it was sent in a
Okay.
separate email.
I didn't put that one. I don't see that one. It's okay.
It's sent on Monday at 8:42 AM. From Jessica.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, right.
Has this been through,
Travis approves this for the village. I see Paul has provided some feedback to put the, ordinance and the policy in together in separate
do
sections.
we incorporate them?
I definitely have to get all the words need to be reformatted to fit into our ordinances. It's not in the correct format to fit the ordinances, but the gist of the words are there. Travis says he supports this. And then the fee would sit in our fee schedule so that we could change it without changing the ordinances.
Okay, we gotta establish a timeline, by the village board on payment.
So
That's one
I
thing that
think I put a note in there too, saying what
Yep.
is the exact time frame we want.
So that's something that we just need to talk
Yep.
about as a board here. What kind of a time frame are we looking for payment? What's normal on stuff like this?
You know, you give them 30 days after they get an invoice. I think would be fair.
It just, it's a structure fire, and I always feel like 30 days is just never enough.
So what is he looking for a fee schedule? So we talk to the fire commission, come home with insurance, have a
Yep.
clause in it and they give it back. Some people don't qualify for it.
Right.
So as the fire commission, we had planned, looked at, reviewing each of these cases independently.
I don't think that's how this is written to do it. The direction from Travis will tell the village clerk, we're going to ask for them to pay for this structure fire, this one. And he puts some definitions of what that is, and then there's an appeal process if they can't pay it or not, that they can come in and say that they can't.
So what is the amount that, is there gonna be a set amount now?
It's $1,000, yep, it's $1,000 for structure fires. And that will go in our fee schedule.
That will
It's
be.
basically the same.
Yeah, so the $1,000 will go on our fee schedule, not in.
So
the
if we
actual-
amend this ordinance, we need to put forth a fee schedule to reflect the fee then, right?
Yes, I didn't know the exact process for fee schedule update, but I do know that I needed to reformat all that anyway to the proper
Do you
formatting.
wanna take, and we get it all together for the final adoption next month and
Sure.
what deal it is, so.
Sure.
I'm perfectly fine with tabling this with a 30-day notice on the date of invoice, and I also noticed under appeals, it says it required time, pardon?
Need a date for that.
For that.
Right, is that within 30 days of,
That's fine.
so they gotta, ask for appeal within?
Yeah, they get the invoice, they have 30 days to appeal it.
Yep,
If the board's okay with that?
and then I also don't know where it should live in all of our ordinances. I think Chris Dubak, you did ask me some of those questions, but I honestly am not sure where in all the ordinances it actually lives.
It didn't seem to fit right into the fire ordinance that we already have, so maybe we'd have to create a new section for it.
That's works for me.
Yeah.
Do you want it right under that other one?
That makes sense to me, okay.
Following the fire ordinance,
Mhm.
so this would
Included
be,
in it,
pardon?
included in it, but it's starting a new section because this is a
So
totally,
this is a new section of the fire ordinance.
exactly, yeah.
Paul, do you have any concerns with the Wisconsin statute 66.0627 and having to have a public hearing and any of that?
For this,
Yeah. You have to do that to build back.
I guess no, but I'll look at that because we're not gonna finalize it tonight.
Okay.
So I'll move to table with the following suggestions of a 30-day notice payment from invoice of the village and 30 days the under appeals. The village board, a written appeal to the village board within 30 days of notice of the bill. The only other question is, how are we gonna know, are we sending these out via certified mail, or is this something, you know, in order to determine that? Or is it the date of the actual invoice? What's the norm in other municipalities,
Should
or,
be the date of the invoice,
okay,
just like any bill you get.
Second.
moved to seconded to table with the following items, and then you're gonna review, yeah, 66, okay? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carried. Next item is discussion only, committee of the whole meetings. I put this on the agenda for discussions. I know, I said I'd like to have committee of the wholes a little more frequently, so we can kind of minimize our times in, committee sessions and get together as a group. So I'm kind of putting this out here. Is this something in September or October that you would like to have a committee of the whole meeting? And if so, we could look at that and see if I think September might be a little soon, October maybe a little. We do have budget coming up in October.
October sounds like a good plan to me.
So any dates and preference on that? That we can review and get back, and so that we can put
Can
it
we
on.
just repurpose? the village? Can we repurpose this meeting in October? The board meeting in October to the whole meeting?
Repurpose, I guess I'm.
Use the 20th.
Yes,
The third.
whatever day in October this meeting happens on, we just use that. This third Tuesday of the month,
We kind of want to get together as a committee to hold, discuss things, and then come back.
then come into this
And then
one?
come to this meeting. to-
Okay, that's just how you want it, okay.
Because this is the formal one, and it's by ordinance. So the other one, I can call a committee of the whole, and if that works, that's why I'm asking for dates to call it so that I know it would fit with everybody's schedule, if it works with the staff too. So, any dates in October that you might be wanting to look at? That I could, that for consideration.
October 14th, I have that open.
I'll make whatever date work. That's my schedule. I have no idea what's going on in October.
How's 12th, 13th and 14th looking, any of them days? I'm just putting a few out there for options. Thank you for the one on the 14th. Is everybody else okay with that?
So far, yeah.
Okay, is there another one too?
13th works for me, 14th works.
There's a football game.
Who cares?
Did your kid play football?
Granted, you don't have to be here.
That's true.
Just letting you know, like.
October
Who would
14th.
ask the tough question?
So 13th to 14th?
One-
14th.
14th is great.
As long as it works with the staff.
We think,
Waiting for additional input from the left side of the gallery here.
It works for me. Yeah.
Both
14, yeah.
13th or
I
14th?
have to look at the calendar. I just wanted some ideas to get something scheduled.
We got Wednesday, the 14th, yay, yay.
I'll make it.
And I'm asking on this side, yay, what about the
Yeah.
13th?
yeah,
Nay.
Yeah,
I could make it.
Is your plan to have no committee meetings then?
That it wouldn't be any committee
Right,
meetings, it
okay.
would be all rolled into one.
Okay.
What are you guys on the 13th?
That works for me too.
That's fine.
You're okay with it?
Mhm.
All right. Any other dates? I prefer that week if we can. So that way it gives a chance for staff to get anything ready for the following week for the village board meeting.
12th is Columbus Days.
What about the week?
It's close.
You wanna do the week before too, and like the 8th or the 7th? Cause we actually get a week of grace in there unless we're gonna push the planning commission to the 8th.
I could do the 8th.
But we won't have a planning commission meeting, no matter what.
No, we would.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
separate from.
That's separate than the
Yeah.
other ones. Okay,
You know,
I'm tired.
But then there would be no finance personnel, right?
Well, that would be part of the committee to hold, yeah.
13th or 14th works better for me. personally.
Okay, all right, well, we'll go with the 13th and 14th and we'll check it with staff. If it becomes a problem, we'll send out emails on it, but if that's what is available, with strong preference to the 14th, I think is what I've kind of heard from this committee.
Yeah, support football team.
Okay,
Would that be 6 o'clock?
we might we'll get back to you, maybe about 5:30, you know, it depends on what kind of stuff we have. Between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, I would say, would be a good start time. Nothing further to come before us. I'd like to make a motion to convene a closed session as per Wisconsin statute 11985, section 1, subsection E. Deliberating and negotiating the purchase of public properties, investing in public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. The purchase agreement with Capstone Homes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. We'll do a roll call vote. Trustee Dubak,
Aye.
trustee Garn, trustee Crone, trustee Flirt,
Aye.
trustee Stewart,
Hi.
trustee Wallner,
Aye.
and trustee Kern. Aye. We are
Waiting for this.
approved for closed session.